meeting we had to put off last week because of the storm. I'll ask Mr. James, will you open this for the prayer?
Lord, I give thanks to you for this day. I give thanks that you have brought us through the storm, through the rain, that you took care of us, that we come back together again to have another meeting, that we could do the county business on one accord, and that we make the right decision and the right choices. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. You lead us in pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public comments. Any public comments?
I do. You want to go first?
No, go ahead.
I lost my sticky note. A couple things. First, I'd like to commend and give a big shout out to our road department for getting the roads back going after Hurricane Irma come through. I think they did a great job to get us back and get the school buses back on the road. Second thing is I talked with each of you commissioners about the link from the county's website being removed from the the link from the county's website from the Jeff Davis County Taxpayers YouTube channel where it shows all the videos. And I haven't gotten a response as to why that has been removed.
You want to discuss that? Let's call it.
It was just that I just had some phone calls. One noted if I was going out, all citizens to have a term website. I said, no, I can't. And they said, well, we can't have one if we can't have them all. And legally, I don't think we either have, because you don't have any control over that once you give that access. And so we can't do it for the 15,000, we can't do it. And that's why I was doing it.
Well, I would like to go on record saying that when Administrator Gary Falk was here, he contacted me. And as Gary was all about open meetings, open records, he wanted the public notified of everything. And he was the one that notified me requesting for it to be linked so anyone could watch the videos that wanted to watch the meetings. So I'm sorry to hear that some did not like it, because I actually had a phone call wanting to know why. I had forgot that it had been added to it. So with that being said, you commissioners, y'all make the ultimate decision. It's up to y'all. The last thing I'd like to ask about is when is the lines going to be repainted on the Omaha School Road?
The lines be repainted.
Yes.
We got some, I think we got some bids out, haven't we? Somebody asked about that the other day.
I did.
Yes, and they're supposed to be
We're
checking.
gonna try to get this paving that we got going on done,
Elmeek, yeah.
and then we're gonna try to come right on in behind that with some white lines. Not just on the whole road, there's several roads that's got to happen.
That be the white lines and the yellow lines, or just the white lines?
Well, according to how much money we're gonna have.
Okay.
The first price I got on the white line was $4,400 a mile. They had another line there, a textile or something, it was like $9,600 a mile.
I remember a little bit that being discussed, but something's got to be done. That's dangerous.
I agree with you.
Very
We're
dangerous.
gonna get some white lines on the road, we're just trying to get this paving right here, what we got going, get it going.
When is the paving going to start?
We're
We're
gonna
fixing to order it
bid
tonight.
on it tonight, order it.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Any other comment? Other comments?
We started this about 3 years ago. Some of you new commissioners was not aware of the bridge cleaning out. Carl, you want to share with someone?
All in here.
On that last page, Georgia Department of Natural Resources, you'll see that gives you the right to go through there and clean that ditch. You don't need the Army Corps of Engineers or anyone else.
I thought we had, go ahead, go ahead.
I thought we had already talked about this. It's supposed to clean up after.
Here's the picture as well.
You'll get cleaned up.
Not that I haven't cleaned out yet.
What happened, Mr. Tyler, is, of course, we've had all this storm and we couldn't get it
Yeah, I
now.
understand that.
And now it's just flat too wet, but, I think what happened is lady, what's her name, Ms. Peoples, I think she had a little complaint, and I think what we need to do is,
Well, you and I spoke about that, Mr. Jerry.
that's what I think we need to do is let's just get with her, try to get a meeting with her, and we'll go out there and sit down and talk to her, and then we'll go from there, we find out what we can do and can't do. If she agrees to it,
Let me ask you another
All
question,
right.
to see if this is a little better idea. Have the county to send each three of us homeowners a letter stating the month and date that they're gonna do that, and see if any one of us responds. Because I don't feel neither one of us homeowners will respond. The reason I say that is all this kerfuffle that happened is I think it's a bunch of hogwash. And again, it's hearsay. We haven't heard out of her mouth, so it's hearsay. And Carly, you know what hearsay means?
why don't you let us just get together, and let's see if we can't go out and talk with her, sit down and talk with her, and we'll go from there. Would that be satisfactory?
Let's get everybody out there that's got a hand in it,
Hand in it.
get out there, one in it, and
We'll just set up a meeting. I'll try to get Mr. Carter to contact her.
The reason I say this, Mr. Jerry, is Miss Peoples is pretty busy.
Right,
She has, on Wednesday nights, I know she teaches Bible school.
right.
And then through the week, she does other chores with other churches.
Well, I'll see if he can't set up an appointment, I can get his appointment, and I can make it whatever time it is. I'll do my best.
You know, how her schedule was.
I'll try to work around whatever he can set us up with, and we'll go sit down and talk to her, and we'll go from there.
But like I said, that easement is a four-corner contract.
Right.
She knows what that means.
Is that fair enough?
That's fair enough with me. That's what I want to do. If you get her to do it. I'm just saying, she's pretty busy.
We'll do
That's all
our
I got.
department, so we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No, we'll move right on in our meeting then. Approved minutes for August the 10th, our regular call meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. Our next on the agenda, approved monthly finances. Any motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Our next one, number 7, is approve the Board of Election recommendation to determine Board Member Stephanie Godwin and appoint Tara Bryant to fill her term.
I'll like to take,
Okay?
I just think I need to get passed before I get vote on something. That's my.
Any other discussion?
I'll make a motion, we take it.
Any other discussion? I hear a motion. Second. Hear a second.
Ricky said it.
No, he made the
Oh,
motion.
okay.
Any second. All in favor then? What about you? I just said I just made it right. Number 8, appoint Jesse, well, if we ain't gonna do that, we can't appoint, well, we can go ahead and appoint Jesse Matters, I guess, to vice chairman, yeah. Appoint Jesse Matters as vice chairman on the Board of Elections. I hear a motion.
I'll make a motion, you lose second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carried.
Hmm?
You vote?
No, I'm not voting. I'm opposed to it.
Are you voting no?
Yeah, I support.
Motion carried. All right, next one is Mr. James Benjamin to discuss change in poll precincts. And, is there anything you want to say on that?
Yeah. I'm kind of confused, I guess. By me being a new commissioner, I don't understand how, what's the girl's name?
Christie.
She's not here, is she? But anyway, she called me in the office and said she had talked to a couple more commissioners about changing the poll precinct. No, consolidate, which really, I wouldn't pay attention to consolidate polls. But then when I seen it in the paper, and seen it was my district, the one being moved, as well as quite a few, but it moved me out of place. And then I'm trying to figure out why it didn't come before this board before. I mean, it don't have to, but why are we voting on this then?
Because we appoint their people, but their people all we control is the appointment of their board.
Their vote.
Just like any other.
I thought she talked to every one of them.
No, I'm just saying, I don't know, I'm just saying that, so she did not have, so she do not have to, she can do what, in other words, she can do this thing without us.
Her vote. She can't appoint,
She can't appoint a board without us.
but her board can set the precincts, which one to vote, or to move
The poll.
the poll, that's right, precinct.
Just out of consideration.
That's right. She called us and asked, talked to us about, she called every one of us.
I still, okay, but I'm just leave it like, I mean, you know what I'm thinking. But I would like to let Glenn Harris say something on the issue that is really gonna hurt our district and as being District 1. It's gonna affect us. It's just like stepping on, you stepping on my toe and it's hurt, but you know, I know she didn't mean no harm.
Right.
I'm sorry, but my toe is still hurt. You still there, you know what I'm saying? But I'd like for Glenn kind of how it's gonna affect District 1 for moving us out of coming across town voting.
I'd like to say good evening to the commissioners. I represent the Community League, and we are concerned when we heard about it, when I read it, and when I spoke to Mr. Benjamin about the moving of the closing of some polls, and there was a concern that Community League has, and these are our concerns. The location where it is now is convenient, for a lot of our voters and people in that area of Ward 1 and the Hazelhurst district to come vote. So we would like to keep it there if at all possible. Now the effectiveness of keeping it there is that the large number of voters can walk to that poll district. Now I know we're going to move it down here to South Side, but that's a long distance for that entire community to move. I'm sure that the committee that come up with the idea, they was thinking about saving money as to what I can read in the paper. And saving money, I would say she did a good job as far as, writing it down. But sometimes saving money can have a negative impact on some people. And right here, that impact is being felt by Ward 1 and the Hazelhurst District. And we are asking the board will re-look at that and not change the whole thing, not reinvent the wheel, but look at maintaining that pole at that position. Because it do have a negative impact, although it do save money. But sometimes saving money, we say, it affects other people. In this case here, it's affecting Ward 1 and the Hazelhurst District. And we would like for you to revisit that point. Okay. And that's about it. And that's the concern from the Hazelhurst Community League.
Ms. Carter, you got anything to say on
I
that?
mean, am I right? I mean, we don't appoint their board, we don't make that decision for them. However, we can encourage them.
No, you can't do that.
We can't even do that?
Just like the commissioners run the election.
Oh, okay.
You
We can't even do that then.
No, you can't do that.
Is there board?
What you need to do is, excuse me, let me interrupt you, is contact their office and see when their next board meeting is, or ask them if they will set up, if they can hold a special meeting. And I'm not sure when the date of their next meeting is, and just go talk to their full board and tell them your concerns, because, like you said, this board's hands are tied. It would have to be addressed to the Board of Elections.
Well, I certainly will. And I kind of understand how that works. That is a separate board over there, and they kind of, take care of their business. And I will do that. But I like this board here to just, be mindful of the negative impact that it's having on Ward 1 and the Hazelhurst District.
Certainly, I think
Okay.
they all understand.
And if at all, I guess, I asked Mr. Benjamin if we could sort of just put a sort of hold on things until I can meet with him and, talk with him.
This board can't control that, like I said, it's
Okay.
totally.
What you need to do is just call Miss Christie Reiner and see when their meeting's gonna be, and just meet with them.
It's 375-6635.
Well, it really don't do no good, 'cause I went to the meeting, and I explained that to her.
375-6635.
I mean, so what's the hit, so that's it,
No,
gotta go to
you
the
can-
president.
You just go and I think, and maybe they can change it. Might not can change it this because it's done past, correct?
I'm not sure what process they're in, because that's what she's handling. I mean, they did vote on it, where they are.
They have two public hearings. Yeah, they had. I went to the meeting. And I told them, I don't care what was said.
Just talk to Miss Christie and see what you can get done there.
Okay, I would like to, after speaking with her, if it's resolved and that's the end of it, if it's not, I would like to come back and address this again.
Be fine.
Okay.
But really and truly, they the one have to say something now, we don't. Their board.
Their board come under this board, right?
Their board, no, we appoint their
We
board.
appoint their board.
But they make the decisions on what precincts be open and closed.
Oh, yes.
Public.
Okay.
And
I will speak with her.
Okay then, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next on the agenda is approved to accept contracts awarded to Georgia Asphalt Producers Inc. for the 2017 Elmeg roadway improvements, and that's in their package jobs. And we had this money for that we got Mr. Hofstadter to look at, and they have awarded they the one that's got the bid. So quick as we approve that, they can get started on doing the package job.
I'll make a motion. Real quick, that includes their post road and those areas.
It's all that everyone that we've done on that. And it's just little spots, it's not a big long street now. It was just so many feet out on every road. It was the worst, the most dangerous spots in the road. And we thought that was most dangerous to the public. Okay, you have a motion? Okay, made a motion. Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank y'all. Next on the list, on the agenda, is Tax Assessors Board, approve their releases for the following. And the first one is Frankie and Latasha. What they did is duplicated a bill from 2011 to 2017. Ain't that what happened?
Yes.
Mr. DeSoto?
Yes, sir.
And so we have to get that approved, get that aired and release it. I hear a motion.
Let me be,
Aye.
there was two bills for 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, that's what this paper
We can
says.
only go back 3 years.
You can only go back.
But is that what this paper says? It was
Yes, sir.
duplicated
Right.
for 6 years.
That's
Yes, sir.
right. But you can only go back for 3 years.
How did the 6 years go by getting duplicated?
I can't answer that.
Who can?
The homeowner did not make, the homeowner went that many years without bringing it to our attention that he had received duplicate bills.
So they paid it though?
Yes.
6 years?
As far as I know, they did.
I mean, I'm just I'm trying to think how you could duplicate a bill that many years in a row.
Two separate systems. One is your pre-built mobile homes that go out at one phase, and then the other one goes out later on in the year with real property.
Are we looking at ways to,
We're
fix that
trying to
problem or
review
don't
all
have
of that stuff. We're working on reviewing all of that stuff now. The new software that was released this year should help, is supposed to help pick up some of that. But we have currently gone through and reviewed all of them. Same thing with the titles. Last year, we sent out over 2,000 letters requesting homeowners provide us with title information. We got very few back.
Brad, I can vouch for that.
We have no way of-
They did not, but they would send them out. I can definitely vouch to that. Those 2,000 letters should get sent out.
We have no way of forcing homeowners to do that.
Okay, then I hear a motion to approve that area and release it.
I'll make a motion, they should raise your money back.
And a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? All right, we'll go to the next one. Ray Wooden, his taxes were paid in Macon County.
Didn't we just do this from a month ago, good? Huh?
Different. It was the same deal. No.
It is a different, we make sure.
This is a different one, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, I hear a motion.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, we got Denise Ray. And this is house removed, it was in the wrong parcel for 2012 through 2016.
Yes, sir. It was, you should have a copy of the map in there where when a piece of the land was sold, that was supposed to be part of it, but it was not. And nobody bothered to say that it wasn't. And it got moved when the title was, when it was sold. And it just came to our attention that it was not part of what was sold.
Could I have a motion to approve that area and release? Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carried. Number 12 on the agenda, to appoint Administrator Keith Carter as county voting delegate at the election leadership conference.
This is in Augusta, right?
Yes.
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carried. All right, our next, number 13, is discuss adopting inclement weather policy. And Mr. Charles, you want to tell them what the problem is? Speak on that just a little bit.
Yes, sir. Chairman come out today and asked me to be here today. I wasn't really prepared.
Well, I figured he could tell you better than I can that, you know, we hadn't really we're not up to date and really what we enforce it, our first responders needs to be parked at, and I figured he knew all more about it, on that than I did, so I
Well,
asked him.
one of the things that we looked at during Hurricane Irma was the fact that we would try to, a lot of counties are adopting these policies so that if there's a stop at a certain wind speed, 40 miles per hour, sustained winds, all emergency services stop responding. And the reason they do that is because of the issues that come up with that. You're talking about debris flying everywhere, you're talking about trees coming down, you're talking about, we had a tree come down behind our fire truck as it went by an area. They looked at the rearview mirror, there was a tree coming down behind them. So obviously our people got stuck out in this. We had talked about it before in one of our meetings, but we actually got called out in it because our winds started and we started responding. It's pretty hard once you start responding to call people in and say, you're sitting there looking at people in the house and they're eyeballing you and you're saying, your guys have got to come back and leave them. So we did not. But we were one of the only counties in this area that was responding. A lot of counties have hunted down. And I talked to several, I had our area coordinator call me and tell me that during the height of it. And I called a couple of chiefs and I said, yeah, we stopped. And that's going to take a policy and a signing of all department heads, the sheriff down to the fire chief, EMS director, EMS. We all agree that we got to do that because we're going to respond out there and we get people hurt, injured, equipment tore up, and we're no good to the public. And it's a hard thing to do, especially if you got people having a heart attack right in the middle of that. That's a tough thing to do, but we need to work on that policy. And I want to start trying to get that policy in place. One of the things we're going to do is the National Weather Service does not have any stations right in our general area. So we're going to put one at EMA and try to tie it into the National Weather Service. So they'll see our weather and we'll see it at the same time. We can actually see what the weather is, and if it gets to that point, we start locking, just everybody come in, don't respond. If you're on the call, you get back to that call and go to anything else.
Is there one in Bacon County?
Sir?
Is there one in Bacon County?
Alabama, yes, sir. There is a weather station in Bacon County.
See, we had to go by their wind gusts, not by what we had.
What I was told by the National Weather Service, and he put us in a general area because he was looking at some of the readings they had around us, that we had 40 to 45 mile per hour sustained winds and gusts up to 65. I think we had a little bit more than that. But a lot of people didn't pay attention, and a lot of people was asleep. But about 3 o'clock on Monday morning, before we started getting really bombarded by this, the track of it was actually tracking kind of towards Orlando, and they were expecting to make that little jog back to the west, where it didn't. It went a little farther up. So every time it moved up, it was actually moving more towards us. I mean, we had, even though the eye was completely away from us, we had more of the winds, the outer bands would come towards us. So we want to try to get a weather station in place, we want to try to get a policy in place. And that's going to take some time, a little bit of time to do that. Once we get that in, if we can get all the department heads to sign off on it, then we by all means, we need to publish that once we have it in place, let the public know, if this happens, we won't be responding. Does that happen that often? No. This was probably the worst one we've had in a long time. We had last year, but we did not have the winds last year that we had this year. This one here was a lot more drastic to us than what we've had in the past. Everybody knows, we've got people just Sunday getting their power back on. That gives you an idea. I've done 14, as of today, 14 IAs in the county. What that is people that have damaged their homes, they have no insurance. This is IAs to try to get them assistance to the federal government. I've done 14 as of today. Some people have called me, they got rental property. We can't help rental property. We can only do people own their property. We can't go in, it does not take care of cleaning the trees in their yard. What it does is take care of their homes. So we're working on that and also working on the public assistance side to try to get that. So if we get the public assistance, the IA will kind of go along with it. So we're working on getting those numbers together to get a PDA in here sometime in the next 30 days, I hope.
One more thing I was gonna mention too, Mr. Charles, is, Chief, is, communication. They was out there helping us, about 9 of his men was out there helping move trees off the road. And we was running into our road department and then was crossing each other and they'd run right behind each other. If we had communication where they could know what road we was on and we knew what road they was on, we could get a lot more done. So it has been brought to my attention that we do need to buy some kind of radio or something to work, because see, all the telephones went out. And they couldn't even, 911 couldn't even call. The communication was just dead, so if we had some type of radio that we could put in the road department that would be on the same channel they was on, then we could stay in touch with each other and know where each other was.
They don't have them, we don't have them.
Right.
That's right.
You know, the road department years ago had a frequency,
Right.
but you know, when we narrowband back in 13, all that kind of went away because if you didn't narrowband your channel, you lost it. So the county lost that channel. So what we need to do is go back and try to get another channel and put that out there and, you know, get radios, and we can do we talk about either getting the road department to have a channel and then put in our radio so we can talk to them, they can talk to us, or having a countywide channel so that when something like that happens, everybody kind of gets on that channel and talks back to one another. You do it either way. If you do it a road department channel, it probably, to me, is more practical because these guys could use it on a daily basis. They can talk to one another instead of having to use their cell phones. And we seen what happened with our cell phone with that. The only thing I had that was working was a Southern Link. That I had to pay tax, and that's the only thing I communicated on. Back in Tunajima, when the power was down, because when we lost telephone service at the EMA2, when we lost Mediacom, you lose Mediacom, you lose everything. So I was talking back to my field coordinator on Southern Link, and that was the only thing working. So
Let me ask you about that incremental cost. What do you think, where do you think cutoff's gonna be there? I mean, you saying 40-mile-an-hour winds and we don't go to anybody?
Coffee County there's 40 mile per hour sustained winds, they stop, and they stopped. At 40 miles per hour, they
Sheriff
stop.
don't go, if somebody get robbed, the sheriff don't go with 40-mile-an-hour wind.
Sustained winds, not a wind gust.
Sustained,
Sustained
steady,
winds, blowing steady,
40
40 miles an hour.
See, really and truly, the ambulance is not supposed to leave on kind of, it's top heavy and it gets flipped over at 40 mile an hour.
NFPA is, NFPA actually tests fire trucks, and they just started testing ambulances. They're the ones that tells the industry how to build our fire trucks. They're the ones now that tells how to build ambulances. They test from a fire truck at about 50. You got issues. At 40 with an ambulance is top heavy. We had one of our trucks that actually the wind slid it over about 3 foot on the road out there. So, and let me just say, this right here, we all know, no matter what, in any community you live, you have people that do things that they shouldn't. They steal, rob, whatever. But I tell you, in this town, even the people that do stuff like that, they stay at home. And I don't think we had much problem. And that's to be commended, because if you watch TV, some areas down in Florida, they were looting and all. It didn't happen. I mean, people were pretty good in our county. They were just trying to help each other.
I seen all that on TV.
So what about some of the elderly people that gets in their homes and lights out or whatever, and they ain't got no way to know what the storm is doing, or is there any way?
Well, it's kind of we have a Facebook page, and I know that people don't usually know. And we try to keep posting stuff, because we were posting it constantly on there. Most homes, and if you go back and look at the winds that we had, we didn't have any mobile homes blow over. We had a few roofs blow off. We had some trees that fall down. So we didn't have tornado-like winds that, now if we'd had hurricane force winds that come through Jeff Davis County, yes, we would have probably had to shelter people. But when the winds are predicted to be where they're at and where they were at for what we had, pretty much everybody sheltered in place was the right thing to do. And it's hard to get the word out. These things change. It's just like a tornado. It may drop down over there by your house and pick up, and 2 blocks over, nobody sees anything. It's tore your place up, but 2 doors down, they don't have any damage. So the same thing with the storm. They wobble. These, especially hurricanes, wobble so much. They may be here one minute and over here the next minute. So, and the eye kept moving west, and that was good to us. But it did make that joggle back in about 3 o'clock Monday morning. It actually probably brought us a little bit more winds than the last update we had said this is what we think you'll have. We were a little bit higher than the last estimates from the National Weather Service. But Hurlback that we were watching it was pretty dead on. When they find Hurlback is real scattered, we have the ability to use that, it's real scattered way out. But as it gets close, as you get closer in, those numbers are pretty tight, and you can pretty much depend on it. So, and we watch Hurlback, I mean, constantly sitting there watching the numbers change on Hurlback. So, but I think the radios are on, yeah, we need to do that, and that, they can use that on a daily basis, but then when we have some type of storm like we had, or disaster, I mean, we could all communicate back too. And that way we know, because my guys got out and they had, with the help of some folks from Rebel Auction, they had some tractors out and they were, you know, we say them guys that done that are on my fire department. And they were doing that to help us out. So we were moving people in different directions and helping the road department try to get roads open as best we could. So,
We appreciate it too. I know y'all done a lot. David kept me, Mr. Miller kept me in touch. I know y'all done a lot. We appreciate it. So, Mr. Keith, you want to check in and see what it costs? Get it. Thank you.
Vote on adopting this, or-
They gonna do it.
we got control of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, any new or old business? Any new?
Yes, new business. Yeah, I got some new business. Something I've been working on, I've had Mr. Keith to help me with a little bit, and I just want to bring to y'all's attention that something I think we need to do as a county. And I've been, a lot of people's talking to me about this, a lot of elderly people. They do this in a lot of counties in Georgia. I think we need to have some kind of ordinance or a policy that when you reach a certain age, which in my opinion it would be 70 years old, that and I think you got other limits on it, some large landowners, but you know, I would say that your residents and up to 5 acres, you would be exempt from school taxes if you're over 70 years old. Just something y'all think about.
5 acres.
Your residents and up to 5
Up
acres.
to 5,
Just something to think about, something I think we need to work on this. It's happening in a lot of counties in Georgia. There's all different ways they do it. They different ages they start. But from what I've looked at, that's pretty much kind of an average age
And they just exempt it from school tax.
from the school taxes. I mean, you know, you look at some people 80 and 90 years old still paying school taxes. Their grandchildren done had children. I mean, it's time to stop sometime.
Anything else? Any old business? Any other new business?
Can I go back and untable something?
You got that to
See, I should have been above, then I was understood.
It's old business, so go ahead.
All right, I want this, do that. And if she don't want to be on the board, then just, on number 7.
Number 7?
You want to make a motion to unextend?
Yeah.
How do we need to work that?
I didn't understand all
He
this.
wants on number
He
7.
wanted to table number 7, now he does not want to
He
table
wants-
it. So we made a motion to table it, so,
You sure? Because I thought you needed to find out some more information.
No, once they explain it to me,
Okay.
you know, I wish I was above, but then I would know.
That's fine, yeah, let's go back to,
Change your
number 7.
motion.
Notice we tabled it,
We tabled it,
we
yeah.
can revisit it.
Revisit, okay,
So
then.
instead of next
All right,
week,
we'll go back to number 7 then.
Number 7, then just after.
To approve the Board of Elections recommendation to terminate Board Member Stephanie Godwin and appoint Tara Bryant to fill her term. So,
I'll make a motion to do so.
I hear a second. Any discussion? All vote. Motion carried. Okay, any other old business or new business? Nothing else? Meeting adjourned. Thank y'all.
Don't trip over that cord right there, okay?
I'm not going to say I'm going to see the much, but I'm not coming back How you doing? You doing all right? How you doing? You doing okay? Come on, elaborate.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. You keep shaking your head and I'm over there. I was trying to get that in. This video that you guys remember, I get one message. I do not. That'll put it belongs to me. I got there and my own son. When Gary was here.
30 to 9:30 in there.
Yeah, they were from 8:30 closing at 5:30, 9:30 to 6:30.
The YouTube channel that I started videos on
Kind of
is
the first
on
step.
my
We
name.
revisit the days,
Now,
hours,
when Gary was here, he was on TV up here. And Gary controlled that because he wanted everybody to know what was going on. Well, Gary contacted me.
West side of it.
Is the county a website? That was something that your
I
administrator
saw it. I've just addressed that the other day. You know, we're doing it.
and created. He contacted me for videos. I went back and said, he wanted to know that I carried
That's
the
right, the
county
jumps, right.
link.
And they did try to put guardrail up on this
Their
one. I
page
rode by it and I was
went
giving
to
Kim a
my
hard time about
YouTube
it.
channel.
There was
And I
about
said, no,
nine head out
no,
there.
no, all they are is public city hall meetings.
Well,
That's all that's on that YouTube channel. It ain't me out there dancing in the street or me
Sure,
out
when
there
it's
singing
Saturday,
R&B.
Yeah.
It's county and city meetings is all recorded on
You
my
could've built-
YouTube, on YouTube.
Good Lord, see.
So, I did,
But anyway,
I actually forgot
we were
about
supposed to
it.
be
After last month's meeting, I got called that Saturday. They said, Mom, so you can't see me. I said, what you mean you can't see me? He only went on the website. I said, yeah.
They're full.
They said,
Friday afternoon,
I said,
every week.
Yeah, by Saturday, I mean, they're full to overflow.
And
But they're full time, ain't they? Don't have-
the only thing I'm waiting,
You have to wait till Tuesday.
had everything, I had all my business on it. I might understand
Pick it up and go through
that
it,
it
drive
don't,
down
you know.
somebody's name. All they got tired of
Meetings
responding.
out of order.
I'm probably calling landowners on Hill, we're calling it. And I do. Yeah.
Anybody can go, they can go see on my name.
She said, I got it.
And you can go to YouTube, and you'll see my channel, what they call my channel, I don't know everything. But you'll see all
She
the
sent it to the
videos
sheriff's
and
office.
days, like
They're
city
responsible.
council workshops.
I'm not gonna
general
go up
meetings,
to somebody.
and this would be,
For looking
I
for a
usually
room.
do JD, or I might pop out Jim Davis, VOC.
Okay, I'll call him.
Or I'm
That's a little bit,
gonna-
I know, as he get off work then, he can work.
I know this ain't the best idea in the world, but I'll tell you what some other counties do.
That's not on the county's
And
website.
it's mainly just.
There's a link, all
The
they have to do
individual
is
that's got a
click
backtrack
here.
down the back of the truck, that cats or dogs gonna get in, and they're gonna drive the
You
town,
might-
and blow out that road, if they
I
can't
don't
get
see
the
a
dogs.
problem with it, and I don't see why
A lot
your
of the counties
administrator
have
and Carla's got a problem.
Yeah.
that you can walk in, look back, and I don't care if you got a truckload full, if you wanna go open the gate and take them one at a time.
I'm calling every one of you from here.
So be it. But, they got walk-in gates on that are accessible on weekends, and I don't know what these other guys think about that, and I don't know what it would cost, you know, folks just pull up there and start throwing it out at the gate, but it ain't no different than throwing it out the gate now. But it would give the honest man access to the dumpster that otherwise
They got their own
is
thing.
probably not maliciously stringing trash up and down the
Well,
road.
it's
I mean,
no
I'll give you my
different than,
friends.
it's no different than.
We got a bunch of stray cats there. So trash gets in the back of the
The
truck.
EMA have a
Sunday,
Facebook
Get it
page.
ain't open Monday.
It's no different.
Come by there, it ain't
It's the same
open.
thing. You know, it's
Cats
getting the
get in,
information
and all the
out.
pieces, next thing I know,
If you
in the
want
rearview
people
mirror,
to
I
come
got
in
trash
the
flying
door,
out
you're
the back of the
welcome.
truck. Not me too.
You
but
can
it
come this
happens.
meeting, it's.
Yeah, you know, if I can
come
get
this
in,
meeting,
I
and
want
it's
to
the
do that.
atmosphere is totally
But,
different than
I mean,
go down there
even
and
if they
do
close
that.
on
I'm sorry.
Wednesday, I
Y'all
don't know,
need not
something
invited.
would be better.
Y'all, you did
One
that
day.
time wrong.
I don't know if Sunday's
One
today
day.
though. I don't know why I don't
James.
think Sunday's today, but I just don't know if Monday ain't better than
Hates it
Sunday.
different, come up here,
I just-
and I know me and
I don't
Joe,
know.
we're up here
One or
every
the
week, and we,
Most people are home on Sunday,
we
which
talk
is
more
why I
than
said
everybody
Sunday.
else.
And
But
I
still,
know from
we,
the past
you know,
that
we
Sunday
have a
was one
right.
of the busiest days out there.
Was
No,
it?
because if
So
you-
that was
if
gonna
you
be my
want- you
question.
wanna-
It used to be
and we
one of the
talk
busiest days
to,
out there. But on Mondays, I know that Monday that they're going to dump the dumpsters.
You make a different story, if we come
But
up here
if
and
they
get
have,
all
if all they have is
done,
4
there
dumpsters
has
out
to
there,
be a
leaving it
meeting.
open on Sunday, it's going to be on the ground.
And nobody
That's right.
likes
Because
it.
they're too full.
That's right, that's right.
Just like the last night. at the
We need to
city
get those
hall.
Rams fixed.
I mean,
Get those
it
two
used to be
dumpsters.
full when they had 8 dumpsters out there. Plus they cut down the size of the dumpsters.
Well, a lot of that was couches and love seats, and TVs and everything else that run the bottom of it. Well, I'll tell you
There they
what.
go in the woods.
I was going to say, they go in the woods or on dirt roads.
Well,
And people
let me
just
know.
drive by